Alright, I have a whole bunch of footage from this game. A lot of it is just Rush on Atacama Desert. I think I have one from Laguna Presa. I know I have one on a couple on Eureka Harbor. I have some in Cold War as well. Now you're probably wondering why there isn't any in-game audio in the background here. Why you can't really hear me walking around, can't hear me shooting anything. The short answer is the in-game commentary I did while I was playing this really wasn't that good. I mean, it happens sometimes. I mean, I was too focused on the combat and not focused enough on being funny. I mean, and I figured, well, it's no big deal. I mean, if this commentary turns out to be bad, it's no problem. Also, note how I'm knifing fences. It's something to do because this first base is a little slow at first, unless you have a couple decent guys in the hinds trying to rush you. I knifed that little fence I was at earlier by the green dumpster, so I have an escape route if someone tries to flank through base B. And obviously, I try not to area camp here, mainly because it's boring. But oh, I don't even need that. I guess B doesn't need to be defended. Look at how fast they mortared that, by the way. Holy crap! I mean, probably a couple UAV missiles and a mortar strike can kill one of these buildings without difficulty. So now I figure they're going to come from the right. That's what they usually do. Oh, here's somebody. Oh, 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 wow. That's not good. I'm amazed I didn't kill the guy. To be honest, I mean, you go watch the video again. I was right on with the SVU because this area is an easy angle to hit people if they're trying to plant. I don't know how I didn't die here. There's somebody on Overwatch over B. And I love how, despite having all these enemies on the motion, my teammates aren't doing jack shit. Look at this. They're just fucking standing by the walls going, huh, huh, huh. Look at this. One motion mine assist. That's all I've gotten so far. Oh, we got another one. Yeah, the guy who I scoped in just a second ago, he's on top. Here's another guy. I'm pretty sure there's another one up there. And I gotta say, I expected us to lose this battle. The fact that this attacking team knew how to attack the space, and as Jay Loco would say, I'm stuck with quite a few scrubs. So I figure, well, at this point, I might as well try and hold off the tide. I mean, I don't want these guys getting their hind. It was funny because I saw what they did without air support. They did pretty dang good without air support. And if I let these guys get their hind, it's going to be worse. And I don't know how this guy didn't kill me. I mean, look at this. He had the drop at me. I should have died there. Come on, man. I just see the bullets hitting around my feet. I'm like, what the hell? I just had time to. Oh man, that was kind of sad. Actually, I felt very bad about myself after surviving that and killing him. I can see him nerd raging. Just I don't know. I mean, it's one thing if your bullets don't register. It's another if they're missing, and those were obviously missing. Ah, yes, the hind. There we go. We're gonna mortar that. It's not that they don't deserve it. It's just I'd rather not let them have it. It's much easier if they just never have access to that vehicle. Now you saw there was a sniper running there. I actually don't end up killing him. I do, however, see how someone's tagged. Oh, look at that. Dunzo. And then we have this guy over here. I don't know how he didn't see me. I mean, or at the very least he didn't hear the bullets whizzing by or hear his team say, Pussy Alley, or something. Like, that's so obvious. And I would have mortared this building, but I literally just used the mortar strike on the hind. But thankfully our VADS gets him. Oh, so lucky. That doesn't usually happen. It's actually kind of a weird angle for the VADS to hit it there because unless you're using the one by the bow of the ship, it doesn't really work. Oh yeah, he's done. There's the sniper who the guy you'll see. I'll get him pretty soon. Yep, that's the guy who I was looking for earlier, who ran all the way down there and evaded me, but I still ended up getting him. So that's good. Now, meanwhile, we have lost yet another base, despite the enemies not having air support. I'm just scratching my head and just wondering how. I mean, especially the AA guns alone aren't enough. I don't know. I don't know why this team lost those bases because it starts getting easier for the attackers. The attackers start getting more firepower. I mean, obviously they get tanks for the last base, and so do the defenders. But the attackers get the UAV, which one missile hit from that, depending on where it hits you, does anywhere from 75 to 100 damage. A little less if you have V armor, but oh well. I'm more to the hind anyway. I figure this little flank is about to go ass up, so I might as well just take out as much stuff as I can in the meantime. I'm looking at the map like notice how few enemies get tagged, by the way. I mean, I don't have any ideas on where to look. I thought about getting on the ATV, but I get off because I don't know where these guys place mines. I'd rather not die like to something like that because it's actually quite hard to see mines if you're on an ATV. And worse, you're not in a position where you can readily minesweep anyway. So why would you do it? There's no good reason to do it. There's the ATV right there. Just cruising along. Nothing happening there though, and so I'm stuck because on the one hand I want to try and envelop them, but on the other hand it's easy if you're not careful here. You notice how I'm walking backwards and watching my back basically. they keep spawning at that base, and so I have to be careful not to get shot in my butthole. I'm trying to hit enemies in their butthole. I don't know if that VADS is occupied. I normally just mortar this VADS just to be safe. Oh, maybe not. I'll just take this guy out. There we go. This guy likes to camp in turrets and just generally be annoying, so I had a lot of fun taking him out. Now, I figured they're probably going to be rushing A, because that's what they did last time. I mean, they're not... Well, not exactly. They collapsed B immediately, which is curious, because they haven't done that yet. And then they rush A, so I figure I might as well blow up as much cover as I can around A. Then I figure also... see what else I can do. Oh, yep, there's something. I saw an explosion. You know, as I say, teammates don't normally just toss grenades randomly. They toss a grenade usually if there's at least something resembling an enemy. Uh-oh, and yeah, see, there was. And he has a good angle. I mean, actually, I think I ended up dying here because there's just so much shit going down. I don't know where the hell this guy is, and I try to get inside. Nope, not happening. This guy's just hanging out. See, that's the top story, I believe, of base B, or the building just to the left of it if you're facing the... if you're looking towards the attacker's base. So it's a really obvious place. Like, and all it would take is one teammate to just motion mine there. You can toss a motion mine from here, go all the way across, and all the way to base B, depending on how well you toss it. And, you know, you can expose the enemies. But no, we don't do that. This team is so stupid. And the guy who's in there, he's still alive. He killed another poor son of a bitch. So now I'm thinking, oh my god, am I gonna have to use a mortar strike on this guy? The short answer is yes, because despite him being on the motion mine, teammates aren't gonna bother trying to get him. And hey, don't get me wrong, I'm trying to kill the guy as well. I mean, he has Overwatch, and he can very easily see me while I'm flanking. And you know, I think it was a solid body shot. So even if he won't kill me in one hit necessarily, it wouldn't take much for him to finish me off or help one of his teammates finish off. Look at, there's a teammate up there, and so I can't see on this small preview screen. I think they may have finally gotten him. If you already saw on the kill feed, I think they may have finally gotten him off that Overwatch. It took a while though. It took a lot longer than it should as well. Oh no! Oh, what is this? Oh my goodness, he's back. Wait a second. How did he show up on the most? Maybe he did show up on the most. I don't fucking know. But this is going to be a bit of an interesting battle here because on one hand I have to defend A, on the other hand I have to kill this guy in the Overwatch, and I think I get him. I do. Oh yeah, that's right. Now what's funny is how look at see mortar strike. I almost hit my own mortar strike here. I've actually died to it. Back when I was first starting to use a mortar strike, I didn't really know the spread or the patterns for the shells, so I was kind of an idiot. Rocking the Rex and missing every shot. And yet I can just hip fire him with the SV. that was a slightly questionable. I mean, the guy was going down anyway. I mean, a teammate was taking him out, but I don't know. I don't think we ended up defeating. Oh no, we did. I don't remember all this match. I do remember we were able to hold off here longer than we should. Also note how there's the Hind is nowhere to be found, and instead you have idiots like this guy just sitting on the VADs, not really doing anything. That's just not. No, that's not gonna end well, you silly goose. Yeah, this is also the guy who just sits on the UAV for the entire game once he gets an opportunity. You'll see. You'll see more of the not so mighty god of COD. And I figure, well, just in case they go for it, I'm just gonna mortar the base of this thing, make sure they don't get it again. In hindsight, I probably should have just. Oh, jeez. Oh, in hindsight, I probably should have just used the mortars later because they don't go back to the VADs very often. Or when they do, it's you know, he's never facing me because he doesn't think I'm a threat. And so now things are really starting to get bad for A because no, it's base B because they can either collapse it or they can place a bomb. And I love how. Okay, no, I still got him. Okay, MCOM defend maybe. Oh, save or kill. I'm thinking, come on, somebody defuse this. Okay, yeah. See, that's the problem. I mean, every time they get within striking distance of B, some part of it breaks, and it's only a matter of time before it collapses. And now, of course, I think we're going to lose A here. No, we definitely are. These idiots didn't... They couldn't be bothered. Oh, here's somebody. I think that was... Yeah, I think he had C4 or mortars or something on there. He was definitely a recon kit. Look at that. How pathetic. We lost the easier to defend base. See, so then that's what I meant when I said earlier, the fact that we hold on to the bases that I would say the stations that are easier to defend and lose the ones that are hard. It's just stupid, so stupid. I should have known better when we lost base A before we lost base B. I mean, yeah, the enemy team wasn't brilliant themselves. I mean, if they just hopped in the Hind, they could just easily torch this. Oh, I don't. Oh no, he was on the hill. I got him. That's good. But yeah, I mean, all the enemy team would have had to do. I mean, shit, they could have gotten. I mean, the god Akkad could have just turned his VADS on this building. I've seen this building's walls get hit by VADS fire before. I mean, yeah, it's not fast, but it works. So part of me thinks the attackers team either just weren't interested, or they just wanted to farm us for kills a little more. And you know, if you watch the kill feed, most of the kills are done by enemies. I do pretty well this round, but I don't do amazing. Now here I'm just making sure in case my mortars don't kill them. They do though. And there we go. Much better. Yeah, I started with vehicle damage. See, even if they go back to that base, they're still stupid about it. Wow, that was very sloppy. I could have ADS'd there. I probably should have. I could have gotten him in 4 hits, but I decided I'd try my luck with hitbar, and I did okay. I mean, I got 2 hits on him. I finished him off with the rock. The bottom line is I got rid of him before he radioed in my position, because often when people are getting flanked like that, they panic and they just start trying to mark you, and that's not good because you need cover. Now this guy, thankfully, because I wasn't marked, I'm able to take this guy out without a, well, I wouldn't say without a problem, but there, see. And now this one I'm thinking, oh geez, these guys are gonna absolutely hate me, so I just gotta split. I'm also starting to run out of ammo. You start off with 80 bullets with this if you use ammo upgrade. Also, note again, more sloppy shooting. This is because I was starting to panic, and that's no excuse to be a bad shot. But when I see 2 guys, one of them's kind of running in my direction, another one's running straight, I'm thinking, oh my god, I have to take both of these guys out. That's why I saw my aim going from the assault guy to the recon guy and just kind of fidgeting like that. I should have just gone right for the recon guy's head, and then maybe I could have taken out the assault guy there if I just was more controlled and more calm. But oh man. Oh well, hey, at least I struck at gold with ammo. I get all my ammo back except for emotion mines, which would be very helpful here. Oh well. And also, you may be wondering why I haven't tossed any grenades yet, because to be fair, there were more than a few opportunities where I could have suppressed people with them. The short answer is my LB button doesn't work, and I know why. It's because I swapped out the analog stick, or at least the main one, the left analog stick, out on this Afterglow wired Xbox 360 controller for one from a Microsoft 360 controller, because anyone who uses Afterglow will know how shitty they are. Oh, there we go. Target down. And so, of course, I had one of the screws was just randomly seized. So instead of drilling it out or like chopping the head off the screw, somehow I just pried it apart. And in doing so, I dinked the electronic stuff for the LB button. Like I mean I also the LB and RB black plastic thing was kind of dinked as well. I'm sorry. I have to get distracted. This is funny. You got to see this. Now he watches his teammate die on the VADS, tosses a grenade at my feet. Problem is, there's the kind of sandbag wall, and I didn't even take any damage from that, which was surprising. I expected to take some damage from that grenade, but apparently that just goes to show how bad nades are in this game. I mean, the blast radius isn't very big, and you have to be within a very, very, very small threshold to get one hit killed by, let alone injured. It's very annoying. I mean, my biggest issue is that you can't cook them. Because whenever I toss a nade, they always have time to say grenade and then run. Now this unfortunately here what you'll see. This is why I don't trust my teammates, because these tanks don't go. These tanks are in the battle without gunners. I'm pretty sure. And at the very least, these guys aren't paying attention, because notice how I have to mark these guys before they start shooting them, whether it be the enemy rocket launcher soldiers or the enemy troops. You'll see. And of course, in doing so, the enemy is able. I mean, he must have known our tanks were being stupid or something, because he was able to get right behind me. I didn't stand a chance. There was no way that was going to end any differently. And as you can see, I mean, to be fair, this team isn't completely crappy. I mean, I've seen worse. I've seen teams that just don't bother getting in the tanks, and the enemies literally just steal our Abrams and just do all sorts of awful things to our buttholes with them. But thankfully, that doesn't happen here. But the lack of skill when these guys are driving the tanks is annoying. So I'm figuring, well, we're definitely going to be on the defensive here. So I'm going to try and blow as much of these bases as possible. So, I mean, it seems kind of silly at first, but think about it. If you're defenders, you want the attackers to have as difficult of a time as possible, both advancing to and retreating from that base. You want to have it as open as possible so you can see their movements and they have nowhere to hide. So as you saw with the VADs, I tried to hop on it and blow up some cover. I try it again later on, I believe. Oh, is he going for the AT? Oh, I couldn't get him. Yeah, he went into the warehouse. I think a teammate got him though. Yeah, because they're not very successful on that flank until later. But yeah, but you see the problem here. Notice how there are a lot of things that just shouldn't have happened. I mean, if our tank, I mean, if all it would have taken was one tank with a gunner who knew how to just sweep an area for targets, I wouldn't have gotten flanked and I wouldn't have died there. I would have been able to help them envelop. I would have been able to mortar T90s at the spawn so the enemies wouldn't have the tanks at all. And as you'll see, the enemies don't use as many T90s as they really should. They also don't use much squad tactics. These guys are just kind of, yeah, there you go, 2 kills in a clip. Some things only happen under those conditions when enemies are stupid. I mean, look at neither of those two guys that I mowed down. They didn't even look in my direction. They didn't know what hit them. That's kind of sad. And so I figured, well, hey, they're obviously going to be pushing Beeson, so let's just blow it up more. It's always a good idea. I mean, stationary AT would have. Stationary AT is okay at it. I prefer the tank's main cannon or a mortar strike though. There's a tower. I don't know what that's doing there. But yeah, as I said earlier, I would have hopped in that Abrams and I just would have tank cannoned the shit out of that base. But my LB button was busted at the time, and I didn't think of switching the fire to RB because I don't use LB for anything. I don't use RB when I'm in the tank. That's basically a free button you could use for something like smoke or VL weapon if you have it. But I never run that. I always run V armor, and so I have an unused button, and it didn't occur to me until like 2 days later when I was playing with my friend. I said, "Yeah, you can just switch the fire button to RB." I'm like, "Oh, really? Is that easy?" Now it's a lot easier than trying to blow up cover with the VADs too. Notice how it's these pieces of cover taking hit after hit and nothing is happening, and then when I knife it, done, done. Look at that, just explodes into confetti. So I don't know. The VADs is a useful weapon. It's good. You can use it on ATVs. It's good on air vehicles. It can even work on infantry, as you saw earlier. Like I just was not very smart. He could have and should have shot me out of that. I mean, all he had to. I mean, I don't know. That was just kind of sad, but. And yet the VADS isn't used to destroy cover, and I can see why. Because if it was so easy for the VADS to blow up all the cover here, then the defenders could just spray the area with the VADS and then just protect all their bases. I mean, then they wouldn't need to blow up the walls with the tanks. And now, as you saw, I killed the guy who was trying to, I believe, C4 the tank. And again, notice how completely fucking oblivious these tanks are. Both on my team and to a lesser degree the enemy team. Like this guy, he just kind of got pinned down. This tank here. He's got a gunner and he does some decent. He does all right here. He's getting some kills. And I'm like, shit, I don't have any mortars. I just used them. So now so now what do? I have to try and advance or something? I don't know. I have to be careful because that machine gunner is probably he showed. I had reason to believe that the machine gunner would be sweeping the area, and that's what usually happens. I mean, the guy saw me before. He almost killed me. Well, no, I mean I didn't get hit, but those bullets were very close, and so I'm thinking, well, what the hell? I might as well get some more kills. This guy runs past, spot assist. And there's a guy that runs out of the base, I believe. Oh no, it's a different game. And so now I figure, well, no way am I going to let these guys get the tank, but it doesn't matter because, someone's on the UAV. And it's funny, too, because the UAV is really, really easy to spot as it advances. If it comes from our left side, you'll have to go by the crane and the crates. You quickly see there really isn't any excuse for the UAV to get even remotely close to your base. So I figure, well, obviously, I'm going to have to start going AA then. The fact that my team is not going to be bothered to do much of anything, I might as well just have to do it myself. So I think of hitting with the SVU, but I obviously don't bother with that. So I hop into the VADS. Now watch how fast this is. All teammate would need to do is just aim, dud, within 2 seconds. A fucking paraplegic nutless monkey could do that. But no, nobody on my team thinks of doing that because they're just so stupid and oblivious. I mean, they're not, as we would say, quintessential J Loco 11 stuck with scrubs style scrubs, but they're pretty goddamn stupid. The fact that they'll stay inside a tank with 12 health instead of jumping into one with 100 health and blowing up the tank with 12 health, so then the enemies don't get a good tank and we aren't stuck with a bad tank. I mean, all they would have needed to do is repair the one I was just in, but no, they didn't even do that. So now I figure, well, better drive this so the enemies don't. And unfortunately, there's a T90 that's coming from the right, and I didn't reconfigure my controls to make RB the fire button for vehicles. I'm like, oh, great. And so I marked the tank and hope for the best. Here I really thought I was going to die because that tank was advancing. But he didn't have a gunner, and he wasn't sweeping the area. And so I'm able to escape. I could not escape, but I got hit by something. I don't know what that was. I want to say light machine gun from somewhere. I don't even know. So I figure out I might be able to stationary AT him. The tank does eventually die, but he goes on a nice little spree, killing our infantry and vehicles. Oh, he saw it coming. Oh well, about time. Oh yeah, yep, it has to be one of the other ATs. That's where the other AT on the left was. I was looking for it earlier, but obviously I didn't find it. Now I'm doing what I should have done a while ago. I'm trying to mortar base B, so then that way they have less cover. It's harder for them to attack it again. But as per usual, my efforts are in vain. I know they end up taking it. And part of the issue here, I would have tried to go around that tank, but he had a machine gunner, and he was looking right in this area. And so I'm kind of sitting there wondering what's happening. And our lovely UAV slash turret camper comes out of the woodwork and wrecks me and another. I think one of my people in my squad. That's what happens. I mean, funny how the guy in the stationary AT was looking in that area, didn't even think to fucking mark the guy. That's all it would have taken. One mark is all it would have taken. Then I would have been like, oh, okay, then I can either run away or take him out. Because it took him a little while to start getting fire on me. Oh, that's actually a pretty difficult shot. Of course, this jackass is standing in the door, so we got to go all the way around. Seconds count when you're in situations like these, and idiots like that teammate that was standing in the door don't make it any better. And of course, now the enemies are learning to steal tanks. They figure, well, the U.S. team isn't going to bother driving all their tanks, so we'll just do it for them. Thankfully, I at least get a couple more kills in before the game ends. Okay, one more kill. So wow, look at that. Yeah, we obviously lost that one. I mean, I don't think we need a cutscene to tell us that we suck monkey balls at this. That said, I did pretty well here, despite. I mean, I think I went 23-4. Let me see. Load, please. Okay, yep, 23-4. It's not bad. That's actually better than I thought I would do. But a lot of the deaths I had were 100% preventable. All like the deaths from the UAV. If you have teammates who would just be smart and market or use the AA gun, it wouldn't be a problem. But they didn't, so it was a problem. Or getting flanked on the base B. Like, they shouldn't have even gotten within spitting distance of base B. Ugh, stupid, useless, shitty teammates. Oh my goodness. Alright, well, there'll be more videos.